Man, I honestly can't fucking deal anymore. Like, in reference to the video from a few days ago that I made playing Modern Warfare 2, like, this AMD thing has gotten out of hand. I have been seeing the most absolutely ridiculous statements made on Twitter. It's ridiculous, like absurd, absurd. I can't even fathom what the hell is going on in these people's brains. Like, I genuinely do not know. Like, how do you arrive at such wild conclusions? Like, what do you even, like, dude, I can't even, like, begin to describe, like, what's going on, bro. Like, this is insane. Like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, honestly, are you kidding me? Like, dude, I've been hearing stuff like, apparently you can't compare the 7900 XTX and stuff to the 4080 because it's a 4090 competitor and they were meant to beat the 4090. Therefore, they didn't win. Therefore, the card is shit. Therefore, the launch is shit. Therefore, don't buy AMD. AMD sucks. People who say AMD is good at fanboys, fuck AMD NVIDIA for the winner. Are you fucking crazy? Dude, are you actually thick in your head? Are you thick? Like how dense are you? Are you a fucking black hole? Dude, you're fucking neutron star, bro. Are you insane? Dude. AMD could call this thing whatever the fuck they want. It's a fucking graphics card. They could call the thing the fucking Framatron 10,000. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. Okay? They compete where they price it. The price to the price to performance and the value proposition is how you judge a product. You can't judge the product because its name is meant, the name suggests it's a 4090 competitor. Therefore, it did not win. Therefore, you cannot buy AMD because it's just a bad product. It's a horrible launch. The AMD failed. Are you fucking insane? Like, are you, how old are you? How old are you? Honestly, like, real talk. Me. How old are you? Okay, are you a child? Are you able to comprehend, like, basic rationale? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, honestly, like, do you realize that AMD more than likely, okay, being engineers, being the geniuses that these fucking people are, okay, from my Intel video, you know, these people that work for AMD, NVIDIA, Intel are fucking, I mean, they're geniuses, okay, some of the best marketing experts on earth. These people have PhDs, master's degrees, fucking, you know, honors is probably fucking like a minimum. I mean, depending what you, I mean, not because you need honors to fucking get a job. It's because these people that are work for these companies are so fucking smart that stuff like honors and masters is like trivial. It's like honors and masters appear. It's like trivial. This is nothing to them. These people, I mean, like the girl that I referenced in that video. How old was she? Like 17 when she graduated from Harvard with a what was it? Some sort of qualification, but like, these kinds of people will finish a PhD by the age of, 20, 22, 23. I mean, that sounds crazy. You say, oh, did you know you'd be... No, this is genuinely what it looks like to be the cream of the crop. If you are actually the top 1% of the geniuses in the world, this is what it looks like. Like, this is really the levels. Like, these are levels, guys. Like, you struggle to finish a PhD, and that's completely fine. It's a hard degree. These people will finish a PhD in a couple of years, man. Like, these people are actually on a different level. They're not you and me. Okay, maybe it is you if you're one of them, right? But it's not me. It's not the average person. Okay, so understand that what AMD ended up finding was, in the end of their testing, more than likely what happened. I'm not an expert, but what I can assume happened was that the architecture was meant to do 3+ gigahertz, but AMD noticed, all these all these gamers and people are complaining about the power supply thing. This is months in advance, by the way. The power supply thing, the 12-volt H power. They're like, they're not happy with the power supply thing. Having to worry about perhaps buying a new power supply. They don't like the adapters. Adapters are annoying. They don't want these adapters. It's ugly. It's inconvenient. And now the adapters are melting. And AMD are like, what do we do? When the adapters start melting, like online, all these posts come around. What do? AMD confirms 2 8-pins weeks before launch. But AMD must have known that 2 8-pins was a better strategy anyway, like months before. And it was. Because why? You can use your old power supply. No problems, no stress, not even a second thought. It works with 2 8-pins, 2 regular ass 8-pins. That's a fucking W in anyone's book. If you don't think it's a W, then you're just unreasonable, okay? Secondly, the card's 350 watts, and it performs like a monster, okay? Now, Apparently, power scaling and OC scaling is not that high, right? So maybe expect like a 400 watt variant that might do like, 2600 megahertz. And that's totally fine. If the card's 400 watts, competing favorably against the 4090 at 600 watts, competing favorably in terms of price to performance, performance per watt, right? Not driving your power bill up, right? That's a W. Secondly, they came within 15% of NVIDIA's 4090 in 4K. The res that everyone seems to fucking care about, but that literally no one fucking plays. Like, what? Dude, I literally can't understand. It's like, everyone seems to care about 4K, but like, barely any fucking gamer owns 4K. Like, barely anyone you know owns 4K. Like, why are you trying to pretend like it's not the fact? Like, why? Like, what is driving you to make these, like, stupid deductions? Like, 4K is obviously a res you can play, and obviously a lot of people are adopting it now because it's cheaper and it's more like doable with most cards now. But it's still not the norm, and most people love 1440p 240Hz. It's fucking cheap, it performs great, it looks great, you get great frames. You have to worry about fucking upgrading every 2 years at 1440p. At 1080p you can upgrade every 3 years, man. Like, you don't think people care about this stuff? You crazy. You honestly wacky, out of your mind. Like, this is a gaming fucking computer. Like, people don't want to spend fucking trillions of rands on the shit, dude. Trillions of dollars on the shit. Like, no one cares. It's fucking gaming. It's like, it's fucking cartoons on a screen, dude. Like, get over yourself. Like, people do not want to spend crazy money on upgrades. Like, they don't want to, okay? Then I heard this argument, this is now, like, where it gets out of hand. Because, okay, I understand, at a glance, the idea that, okay, AMD's flagship card can't perform with NVIDIA's flagship card. Okay, I get that to a degree. And because, you're saying now, oh yeah, I want peak performance. AMD didn't win. Therefore, in my view, where I have infinite money and infinite power, I have infinite ability to afford my power bill. I don't care about this stuff. I can buy a new adapter. I don't give a shit. I'll buy a new power supply. I do not care. Tick all that stuff, tick all the boxes. I can fulfill all these requirements. I don't care. I want max performance. Okay, in that regard, 4090 does win. It is a faster card, of course. It's a faster card. In ray tracing, it's much faster. In raster, it's a bit faster, a little bit faster. In 4K, it's like 15% faster. In 1440p, the reason most of us actually care about is like 5% faster, right? So this card is it's a decent card, but it isn't for those that want peak performance, right? Those that benchmark, no. So what then? So what do we do then? What do we do? We're left with this dilemma, right? The 4080 is $1,200 fucking dollars. $1,200 fucking dollars. And you're telling me this fucking thing is apparently not, comparable to $1,000 card. What? What does that mean? What? Like, how does it make any sense? How can you tell me that a $1,200 card is not comparable to $1,000 card? What do you mean? In what way? No. It's not about the pricing. See, the thing is, it's about the SKU. Because see, the 4080 is the 80. Fuck off. No, fuck off. No, you're taking the piss. No, you're literally you're being ridiculous. Okay. I'm sorry to be nasty, but you're being stupid if you make the argument. It's a dumb argument. Okay. The 4080 is a faster card than RTX. Who gives a fuck? Anyone? No. Okay, thought so. Anyway, so let's move on. Raster. Well, if we use our brains and we assume that a 4090 is 15% faster at 4K, which apparently is the accepted figure, right? Then a 4080 would be what? Like, 40% slower, meaning what? Is the 4080 like 20% slower than the AMD card and Raster? Oh, but no one cares about Raster. It's all about fuck off. Okay? Like, no. Stop. Stop being dumb, okay? 24 gigs of VRAM, 16 gigs of VRAM. You get more VRAM, you get more raster, and it's fucking cheaper. And the power draw is almost identical. So, where exactly is this, like, logic coming from? Of, like, oh, no, we can't compare the two. Like, what? Like, what? Dude. And then the best part of it all is the 4090, its forte is 4K 240Hz, right? This thing doesn't have DisplayPort, like is it 2.1 or 2.0? I don't fucking know. I think it's 2.1. Anyway, basically this thing needs DSC to do, that's display stream compression, by the way, to do 4K 240Hz. Oh, fair enough, dude. Yeah, that's true. It can do 4K 240Hz. But display stream compression adds input lag. How do you know this? If you go to NVIDIA's own tweet where they address the issue, they say it has lossless visual quality. It has there's lossless visuals. Yes, visuals. Not lossless input, not lossless other factors like processing. No, visual. In fact, like that means the picture looks as good, but doesn't mean that it arrives as quickly, as responsively. Is it viable for competitive gaming? No. Okay, so you see where the problems, you see where the problems start arise, like the problems start coming in. Now you have to think, okay, so the AMD card has 2.1, meaning if it can push a game around the same frame rate in 4K as the 4090, you can play the game with less input lag because you can use DisplayPort 2.1. Oh, okay. Wow, isn't that interesting? That's pretty interesting. Now, the other fun fact is, most success you'll find with the 4090 is 2K 360 Hz, or 1440p, more accurately, because it's not 2K. 1440p 360 Hz. By the way, AMD tends to catch up really well with lower resolutions, especially 1440p, especially when the frame rates get really high, because the CPU overhead, all of a sudden you start noticing that AMD cards pull ahead. I'm not saying AMD is going to win at 1440p. I'm not saying they're going to win in certain games, because that would cause a bunch of arguments and a bunch of, like, you know, dumb, like, easy pickings, really. Like, oh, dude, no, you can't predict that. AMD's losing. How can you say, okay, true. Let's assume AMD don't win at all. It doesn't fucking matter, because I just gave you a completely rational argument as to why they're still doing, like why the card is much better value, like why it's much more central. I mean, why would you buy an NVIDIA card? Okay, certain computation applications. Okay, cool. Streaming. Okay, cool. DXR, maybe 8K gaming with a 4090 if you really want to, and then I guess 4K. But really, is it really better 4K? If I'm telling you that you need DSC to do 240, so you mean like. I mean, would you take 15% more frames at 4K? Or would you take, like, objectively better latency? I don't know. That's a toss-up, honestly. Like, so... Like... And then the fact that it runs much less power. And it has the old design for the power cables? Like, come on, dude. Like, by this point, I don't understand. Do we just hate AMD? Like, do we just hate AMD right now? Like, is that what this is? Is that where we are right now? Is that the point we're at right now? Because... that would be a much more viable argument. Like, just say you hate AMD. Say you hate them. Like, don't tell me all this BS. Like, what? This is not helping you. Like, just say you hate AMD.